Hello there, and thank you for joining me in a shortened edition of Little Known Facts. Here are 10 little known facts about Andy Warhol. I am Jason Kanow. Andy Warhol is best known for creating pop art paintings of Campbell soup cans and Marilyn Monroe. In his New York City studio, The Factory, he made films and championed bohemian performers that he deemed superstars. He also co-founded Interview magazine and presciently declared that everyone in the future will be world famous for 15 minutes. His parents were poor immigrants from Central Europe. After leaving their village in present-day Slovakia, Andrei and Yulia Warhola welcomed their son Andrew Warhola to the world on August 6, 1928. The family, including Warhol's two older brothers, lived humbly in a small apartment in a working-class neighborhood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Andrei worked as a construction worker and coal miner, but died of tuberculosis when Warhol was 13. He was the Velvet Underground's manager. In 1966 and 1967, Warhol organized events dubbed the Exploding Plastic Inevitable to combine his interest in art, performance, music, and film. He featured the Velvet Underground in the Exploding Plastic Inevitable and encouraged the band to perform with Nico, one of his superstars. Warhol then co-managed the band, produced the Velvet Underground and Nico's self-titled album, and let the band use his banana artwork as its album cover. His nickname was Drella. Warhol's friends and creative collaborators in The Factory called him Drella, a portmanteau of the names Dracula and Cinderella. Because he was often insincere and flippant, especially in interviews, it could be hard to uncover Warhol's true thoughts. But the nickname Drella conveyed the passive-aggressive Jekyll and Hyde-like nature of his personality. Two members of the Velvet Underground even released an album in Warhol's memory called Songs for Drella. He was nominated for a Grammy Award. In the 1950s and 60s, Warhol worked as a freelance commercial artist for companies such as Harper's Bazaar, RCA Records, and Columbia Records. Besides creating cover art for the Velvet Underground, he designed album artwork for the Rolling Stones, John Cale, and Aretha Franklin. His 1971 cover for the Rolling Stones album Sticky Fingers, a risque image of a man's crotch in jeans with a working zipper, was once nominated for a Grammy Award for the best album cover. It lost to a band called Pollution. His silver wigs covered up his early balding. In his early 20s, Warhol began going bald, so he wore wigs to obscure his hair loss. His silver wigs, and he had a collection of dozens, contributed to his bohemian image and avant-garde mystique. Warhol's iconic 1986 series of self-portraits called Fright Wig shows his fake hair sticking straight up. In 2010, his purple self-portrait sold at Sotheby's for more than $32 million. He was a lifelong mama's boy. Until her death in 1972, Yulia Warhola was her son's close and constant companion. Mother and son lived and worked together in New York City for almost 2 decades. Yulia appeared in his film Mrs. Warhol and provided calligraphy and lettering for his projects. A collection of her drawings is even on display at Pittsburgh's Andy Warhol Museum. He did not attend her funeral. He made a cookbook, and it's as bizarre as you'd expect. In 1959, Warhol joined forces with his friend, interior decorator Susie Frankfurt, to create a cookbook called Wild Raspberries. Mocking the genre of stylish French cookbooks, Warhol and Frankfurt wrote recipes for dishes such as omelette Greta Garbo, to be eaten alone, roast iguana Andalusian, and gefilte of fighting fish. Although the handmade cookbooks contain 19 Warhol illustrations, Wild Raspberries wasn't a commercial success. He was a devout Catholic who regularly attended Mass. Warhol grew up as a practicing Byzantine Catholic, and he quietly continued to practice his religion as an adult. He went to church on Manhattan's Upper East Side almost every day, attending Mass or praying in the afternoon. Warhol also wore a crucifix, carried a rosary, and regularly volunteered at a church-run soup kitchen. Some of his art, such as his series The Last Supper, depicts religious themes, and Warhol is buried in a Catholic cemetery in Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh is a mecca for his fans. Since 1994, the Andy Warhol Museum in Pittsburgh has featured a treasure trove of Warhol-related items, including his paintings, drawings, sculptures, films, and photographs. You can find issues of Interview magazine, his audio-taped recordings, diaries, wigs, and a massive perfume collection. Since he was a bit of a hoarder, perhaps most interestingly, the museum houses more than 600 Warhol time capsules containing over 3 decades worth of newspapers, business documents, and childhood mementos. I would like to thank mentalfloss.com for providing the content for this recording. And again to you, dear viewer, thank you again for listening, liking, and subscribing. If you have any suggestions of which artists you would like to hear about next, please leave a comment down below. I am Jason Kanow.